Brace yourselves. 15 signs the coming housing market crash could be unlike anything we've ever seen. Something wicked is coming to the housing market. Eerie signs are emerging that a terrifying crash is on the horizon, one that could haunt homeowners in ways not seen since the days of the Great Recession. This downturn has been brewing for some time, but the bell is now tolling ever louder that the days of easy price increases are dead and gone. Mortgage rates have climbed to their highest levels in over 2 decades, casting a sinister shadow over demand. Meanwhile, the number of sellers slashing asking prices is soaring to an unnatural level in a desperate attempt to unload their homes before values sink even further. Real estate agents, home builders, and lenders, those closest to the market's pulse, grow increasingly anxious about what the future may hold. Their confidence has been rattled to the core, and jittery buyers have all but vanished, spooked by the toxic combination of inflated home prices and rising interest rates. The market teetered and tottered for the past several months, but many fear it has now passed a point of no return. The downhill slide has begun, picking up bone-chilling speed and momentum. Bumps in the night are being reported across the country in eerie events that foreshadow a full-on crash. Pay close attention to these hair-raising signs because they could determine whether you end up buried under a mountain of mortgage debt or manage to escape safely. So these are the 15 signs of the unprecedented housing market crash. Number 1. The era of easy price hikes has come to a creaky end. During the pandemic, home prices ascended to terrifying heights, rising 45% in just 2 years. But the music has stopped, the party is over, and the punch bowl has been taken away. This year, the frenzied bidding wars and eye-popping sale prices have given way to a market filled with shadows and fear. Home prices are now heading in reverse, declining quarter after quarter. The days of homeowners gaining eyebrow-raising equity just by sitting in their houses are through. Now, a scary new trend of price cuts is spreading its wings across the land. Number 2. Mortgage rates are disturbingly high and not coming down anytime soon. Interest rates on 30-year mortgages have now crossed over into the dark zone, reaching spine-tingling levels not experienced since the turn of the century. This translates into $3,000 monthly mortgage payments for many buyers, a frightening proposition when the average American earns only $4,600 per month. With the Federal Reserve intent on keeping rates higher for longer to slay the inflation demon, the world of affordable mortgages will continue to shrink. Many restless souls will be kept outside the housing market's gates, unable to step foot into the land of home ownership. Number 3. Home sales are dropping off a cliff. When demand rapidly dries up, nothing good can come of it, and by any measure, the market for existing homes has fallen off a cliff. Sales cratered 15% in the last quarter, a scary plunge not seen since the days of the Great Recession. With mortgage rates hovering near 8%, many potential buyers have been banished into the lending desert. Their departure has left sellers scrambling to make up for the deficit by slashing prices at unprecedented rates. Number 4. Sellers are butchering asking prices. The percentage of sellers cutting their list price is going through the roof, reaching the highest levels since the housing crash in 2006. In September alone, over 99% of homes for sale saw a price reduction, and in October, the grim reaper of a statistic rose yet again. Among builders, price cuts are also surging ominously. A full 32% have now trimmed their asking prices by an average of 6%. These frightening declines indicate sellers are racing to unload their properties before the bottom fully drops out. Number 5. A glut of housing inventory is piling up. The inventory of unsold homes sitting vacant on the market is growing at an alarming rate. Active listings now stand nearly 6% higher than last year, a clear sign that demand is weakening while more supply enters the picture. If current trends continue and the imbalance worsens, we could soon be dealing with a massive oversupply. And too much supply inevitably leads to plunging prices, especially when paired with shrinking demand. Number 6. A flood of shadow inventory looms on the horizon. Lurking behind the visible homes for sale is a vast shadow inventory of properties not yet officially listed. But they could still come onto the market and haunt prices at any moment. By some estimates, over 5 million homes fall into this shadow zone. If even a fraction of these hidden properties emerge under the light of a day, buyers would gain the clear upper hand. This sudden influx of fresh supply could apply even more downward pressure on prices in the tense months ahead. Number 7. Buyer sentiment is turning ghoulish. When consumers lose faith in the housing market, it's often a self-fulfilling prophecy. And right now, buyer sentiment is growing increasingly ghoulish. The percentage of people who say it's a bad time to buy recently soared to 85%, the worst reading in nearly a year. With buyers spooked by inflation, rising rates and general economic jitters, demand for homes is on the verge of flatlining. And once demand falls into the grave, prices are soon to follow. Number 8. Even industry insiders are getting cold feet. When the real estate agents themselves start waving red flags, it's time to take notice. According to recent surveys, only 8% expect more buyer interest in coming months. That's down significantly from just a few months ago. Among builders, confidence has also turned creepy. Sentiment plunged below the 50-point threshold in October, indicating a prevailing sense of gloom. Traffic from prospective buyers has slowed to a crawl, as higher rates put ownership out of reach for many. Number 9. Lenders are battening down the hatches. As mortgage delinquencies rise and profits sink, lenders are taking a harder line on borrowers. Credit conditions are stiffening, loans are getting tougher to come by, and markets for risky mortgages are drying up. Lenders can see the writing on the wall, and they don't want to be stuck holding the bag when the markets turn treacherous. By tightening up on lending now, they hope to shield themselves from the hurricane ahead, but their skittishness only serves to make a full-on crash more likely. Number 10. Exotic mortgages could open the door to ruin once again. In the Wild West days leading to the housing crash of 2008, subprime mortgages and other exotic products allowed unqualified buyers to purchase homes they had no business owning. Outright fraud was rampant. While regulation has increased since then, new players are once again creeping into the fringe markets, and as traditional lenders grow stingier with credit, more buyers may turn to unorthodox options, sending demand for these risky loans through the mortar cracked roof. Number 11. Risky loans now require insurance. Because today's prices are so inflated, most buyers can no longer afford a standard 20% down payment. Low down payments mean higher risk, requiring mortgage insurance for protection. This insurance is all well and good when home values are rising, but if prices decline, these homeowners can end up underwater, owing more than their house is worth. This quicksand-like equity trap makes owners more likely to simply abandon their properties, accelerating the pace of foreclosures. Number 12. Foreclosures are already surging higher. Nothing heralds a housing crash louder than a spike in foreclosures, where distressed owners default on their loan and the bank seizes the house. Morbidly, foreclosures have ratcheted higher for 23 consecutive months. In some states, notices of default have more than doubled in a year. If this trend continues, it could signal a wave of financial strife rippling through the country ahead. Number 13. The bubble could reinflate before it finally pops. It's not over till it's over. Even with indicators flashing warning signs, speculative buyers can still enter the market, snatching up discounted homes with the goal of flipping them later for a profit. This creates a perverse incentive that actually grows the bubble even larger in the short term. The trouble arises when the bubble finally finds its spin. The greater the distortions leading up to the pop, the more painful the ultimate crash. Number 14. Job market cracks foreshadow trouble ahead. A faltering employment market doesn't bode well with the overall economy, and lately the job picture has taken an ominous turn, with unemployment rising sharply since the spring. Historically, sudden moves higher in the unemployment rate signal a recession is imminent. Once this snowball starts rolling downhill, job losses tend to cascade, taking the housing market down with it. Number 15. Ominous economic signs are flashing in all directions. From consumer sentiment and retail sales to manufacturing and construction spending, there are a few encouraging signs anywhere in the economy. Inflation remains white hot, while corporate profits sink. Recessions throw everything into disarray, and with so many hair-raising economic data points, the risk of a downturn has grown too large to ignore. The economic tea leaves warn that a painful period lies ahead. The hour is close at hand. Thank you so much for watching this video from Econisance. If you want more data, more information, and more knowledge about the economic state in the United States, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. Thank you so much. See you next time.